Hello, sir.
Hi, how you doing?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Yourself?
I'm good. I'm good.
Good, good.
How did your thing go yesterday?
Yeah, really good, really good. I'm quite knackered, but yeah, it's
It can be exhausting when you're on your feet all day.
yeah, yeah, and I think it was also the fact that it was so um there was a lot to do beforehand. So I was doing a lot
Hmm.
of design work and stuff for a few of the members and myself. Then there was the I don't even know what to say. It wasn't really I wasn't anxious about doing a talk at the start, but I was aware that it was going to be happening, and it's sort of one of them things where it wasn't a problem. It was okay, but yeah, in the end, getting that out of the way, they're just like, oh, now I can relax, you know. So
If you're ever doing something like that again, I've done a lot of public speaking. I was involved in politics before,
yeah,
standing for parliament, and I've run businesses and done presentations. And something someone taught me a long, long time ago. It was actually a guy who was worked for Nelson Mandela when he came out of Robben's Island, and Nelson Mandela was thrust into the world's media and all the rest of it. And
right,
everyone wanted to hear from him, and he was like, "I've not spoke to anyone for 40 years here."
sure,
And what the guy said was, doesn't matter whether you're speaking to a room of 10 people or 2,000. And I have done 2,000, been live on telly and didn't realize it at the time.
oh
Otherwise,
wow,
it would have
okay,
been completely different. Uh, what you do is before you start, you look around for people you know
yeah,
in the audience.
yeah,
All you do is you look at that person and have a conversation over everyone else with that person,
yeah,
and then look to the other person, and it says all you're doing is speaking to friends. But the
yeah,
fact that there's 10, 20, 100 or 1,000 other people there is irrelevant. All you're doing is having a conversation with friends who like you, who know you, who trust you, and who
yeah,
are happy for you. And that lifts the pressure because you're not thinking, I'll speak to 1,000 people, I'll speak to 5 friends. But everyone thinks that you're very, very clever because you're looking around the room.
yeah. Well, I
Little
did,
thing there, even if it's in front of 20 people, just look at who your friends are.
yeah,
If there's 2 or 3 people in there, and everyone else will get it, but they won't know what you're doing.
yeah. I'd never heard that, but I did do that.
Good.
I did do that. So it was something that I picked out a few people. So Ben was there, Claire was there, and there was a few others that I picked out. And it was like I picked them out, and every now and again I sort of glance over, and it'd be like, yeah, pick out a few people that I know, and it was just like, yeah, talk to them. It's like so don't look at people that have no clue who they are because then their facial expressions might be different. Then that'll put you off, and then all of a sudden it's like the pressure, and yeah. So yeah, that I did
The,
that without knowing.
the other thing to do, another tip he told me, which when I first tried it, I thought, wow, I feel really good here. It says, before you go on stage, is stand with your back to a wall, put your heels against the wall, your bum against the wall, your shoulders against the wall, and put your head back against the wall. And that way, you're standing as tall as you can, and you then have a presence. And I actually did it. The first time I did it, and I walked in, I could see people sort of go, oh, and it made me feel more empowered, and you actually feel as though you've got the status and your head's up, you're standing tall, because we all have a tendency to slump and crouch over and bend over,
Yeah, yeah,
especially if you're on a stage and you're speaking down to other people. But don't, you know,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it gets people's attention because they go, "Oh, he's got something to say."
Fair one. Yeah, I've not done that.
Little things, just little things like that. But I say that this was a guy who coached Nelson Mandela when he came out of prison. For about a year and a half, he was employed by the ANC, was it?
Oh
The
yeah,
political party.
yeah,
Because if you think it, suddenly you've got one of the most famous people in the world who's never spoken to anyone for 40 years.
yeah. Very true. Yeah, yeah,
What do you say? What do you do?
yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, that's
And
exactly right.
you're not just speaking to 1 or 2 people. You're speaking to the whole world and the whole nation, your own nation, and people around the world who have campaigned for you.
Yeah,
Uh, That must have been quite daunting for him coming out.
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah, yeah. He's obviously been locked in a room, not talking to anyone at all for, as you say, 40 years, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh wow, the whole world. So so how different is the world where he went
Absolutely.
in, came out, and it's like, yeah, must
Man
have
have been to the moon, the internet.
yeah. So anyway, how is everyone? We all good? Wow, that's quiet. Ben's on mute.
Ben, I don't want to break it to you because you're a video guy, but your background is squint.
How many videos you've been looking at?
My background's what?
In relation
Squint.
to sports, or
That's a deliberate thing.
would you,
Just so I get noticed a bit more. I am absolutely shattered after yesterday.
Oh no, tell me about it. I am properly done.
All
did
you
not-
wimps.
I did not want to wake up for the school run or anything.
No, took the kids to school, and I've been sat at my desk just sort of like trying to get through it.
I went to bed at 9. I went to bed at 9 o'clock last night, and as I lay there, all I could hear was the noise from the hall, the hubbub of people talking.
Yeah.
So, get out of my head.
See, I
How
love
was
that
it-
side of things. I absolutely love that side of it. It's for me, it's just the come down. I don't like the come down. It's like I want to stay up there. It's like if I can stay up there, then I'll keep going. It's all good. Like yesterday, my feet were hurting, but the rest of me was bouncing. It was like, come on, this is great. Let's keep going. It's like I was starting to feel tired, but I wanted to stay up there. But yeah, it was just like when we go home and you start you just get that moment of, oh no.
Yeah, we were buzzing for hours. Like, couldn't really get to sleep. Couldn't really relax. Like, thinking, what do we do now? Should we message people? No, can't message tonight. Let's leave it for tomorrow. I'm now writing all the email addresses and everything up onto a database. So I've got everybody.
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing. I've got all my cards.
The cards.
Yeah.
Madness. Absolutely insane. So many positive conversations and much bigger companies than what I was actually dreaming of as well. It's really awesome.
Yeah, the number of conversations that we had, it's like even if a quarter of them give us a go, it's like that's gonna be a massive change.
Yeah, we need one or two
great.
of them people. If they just say yes to us,
Yeah.
within the next few months, then our trajectory is totally different to what it is right now. It's great. So well worth doing it.
Yeah,
But
100%. And as I said in the group, anyone in other areas, if any of you guys have got any business expos going on, let me know, because I want to conquer UK, and that is the only way it's going to happen is by having a presence in all the areas. So so I am going to announce my Scottish news. So Lawrence, be prepared. The Scouse is coming. I'm coming up to Scotland next Friday. So we need to arrange I'm coming up Friday to Thursday, and I'm taking in the Rangers and the Celtic game at the same time. So
They're not at the same time, they're on different days, but at the same
they
period.
are on different days. I think they're on the Sunday and the Wednesday, aren't they?
I might miss the Sunday, actually.
Oh, are you? All right.
Well, it depends. My son's got football on a Sunday, and I've had no games the last 2 weeks. But I think maybe the Cup semi-final that weekend.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm coming up, so we need to arrange to meet up, and if you can arrange for some venues to be looked at, that would be epic, because
Some what?
some venues for some face-to-face meetings. So anywhere that you think would be good. Because obviously I've got no idea of the area. So
Where about are you staying?
Say again?
Where about are you staying?
In Leith.
So he said it's quite nice. It's a nice feeling to get back into those.
But we want to do. I want to do it on the inside of Glasgow and Edinburgh, so so they're not that far apart, so that people could potentially go to both if they wanted to, but they still officially in each city, so that there's two options.
You know, if the three of us
The obvious ones there would be somewhere like Livingston or Whitburn that are both just off the motorway.
That's not a problem. So
Yeah, cool. All right, well, we'll talk about that off screen. But yeah, no, that's yeah, I'm really looking forward to coming up and seeing you. But no, definitely anyone outside of so you, Anita, Christopher, and Lawrence, you guys are all outside of my local area. So if any of you guys have got any business expos, let me know, because I'm well up for more.
oh no, she sounds fun.
So
yeah, no, we're absolutely
right, we will get started. I'm not sure if anyone else is going to join us. There is one visitor supposed to be coming, but as
I'm getting a lot of background noise. Those people chatting in the background somewhere, and it's not in here. Anything?
Yeah, exactly.
I think that might have been Rachel in Ben's background.
Ah,
Yeah, noisy Rachel.
sorry, Ben. Rachel didn't mean to grass you up.
That's it. Ben's in trouble.
She always talks over me. Don't worry about it, guys. Sorry about
Yeah,
that.
we know.
I'm probably not going to be on here long because obviously I'm on my phone and I'm just trying to get motivated. I'm tired and trying to get stuff done.
That's all right. Thank you for joining us, Michelle. Cool. Well, Gus is going to come back, so I'm going to wait for Gus because he's going to come back. He's just having an issue with his camera at the moment. He's gone a bit robotic, wasn't he? But yeah, so does anyone else have anything they would like to discuss sort of in the open networking section of the meeting? You, Anita.
I have a question. Lawrence, did you manage to get hold of, I think her name's Ava?
I got an email and I've heard nothing since. I replied to it and I've heard nothing back, and that's been 2 weeks. Not a
Oh
thing.
my gosh.
And I emailed the company as well, and I got a standard email saying someone will be in touch with you about 4 weeks ago, and I've heard nothing from anyone.
Oh my gosh. That's not really good.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
Is this the home
Work from home job fair?
Work from home, that's the one.
I mean, I've got quite a few companies coming, and I've got Business Gateway Borders, which is part of South of Scotland Enterprise.
Yeah.
A couple of other organisations. I had a strange thing from the Prince's Trust, and the guy said, "Oh yeah, we'd be delighted to be there." And I says, "Fine, here's a nominal cost." And I'm saying, £75 for the day, and he says, "Oh, we didn't realise there's a cost. We're a charity." And I thought, yeah, but you're a charity that gets millions of pounds in funding to go and do things, and you expect me to pay for the hotel for nothing and give you a stall for nothing? I just found, we're a charity. Well, yeah, and you get millions of pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it wasn't as if it was saying it's £7,500 to come along, Oh.
I know. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I have the same thing with when I speak to them about advertising. It's no, we can't do any advertising. It's like, what do you mean? You don't think we see you on the TV? Do you think that's free? Do you?
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, yeah, okay, sure. You can try and pull the fast one. All right.
I mean, the ballrooms cost me $450. I've got an advert in the local flyer that goes around the town. I've spent probably about 30, 40 hours in it so far. And they're going, we're a charity. Bollocks. Pardon the French.
No, you're exactly right. So, is it worth 75 quid you being there? Yes, it is.
Well, for organisations, I've said £75. For businesses, I've said £45 to try and make it as affordable as possible for businesses to come along.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Well, can they walk into a shop and go, I need a packet of paper, but we're a charity, I need it for free?
Yeah, we'll give it to us for free, and we'll say that you support this Prince's Trust.
Yeah. No, you're right. Anyway, yeah, Gus is having an issue with his camera, which is a bit of a shame, so he's had to jump off. Anyway, thank you all for coming along today. So go around the room. Obviously, we've had a few Mondays that we've missed out on, which is a bit of a shame because the Mondays meetings are always good. But I think what have we got left? There's one more bank holiday left, is there? and then we can sort of get bank holidays out of the way. So they're quite nice to have off, but at the same time, they do get in the way a little bit, don't they? But anyway, so thank you all for coming along today. Go around the room, find out what everyone's been up to. Lawrence, if you can go first.
Hi. Sorry I haven't been on the last couple of weeks, been quite busy. Lawrence Miller, I live in the Scottish borders, as you can see from the picture behind me. Lovely part of the country here, about 20 miles south of Edinburgh. Looking to welcome the Führer to Leith next week. Quite simply, utilities. Everyone will be starting to notice their bills going up. Businesses will notice their bills going up after the government support finished at the end of March, beginning of April. For domestic properties, I use Utility Warehouse, who are number 1 in the UK, the only company guaranteed to be below the government price cap. They do gas, electric, phone, broadband, mobile. A bit like the Tesco meal deal, the more services you take, the more discounts you get. So bundling all your services together, but also make it simple because you have one bill for all your domestic stuff and one point of contact instead of going to 4 or 5 different companies and waiting 30, 40 minutes each time for each one. For businesses, I use full Circle 17. Do you want to say full circle? Because the other day I talked about going around in a full circle, and I've got this loop in my head that I'm going around in a full circle at the moment. But Circle 17, we're a master broker, which means we search the whole of the market across businesses. We do energy, which is a big thing now for businesses that their subsidy has finished. Business water in England and Scotland, and payment systems, whether it be handheld, whether it be fixed terminals, whether it be for online, etc. So all we need there is a look at the bills. We do a free audit. We can tell them how much they're saving. I'm still seeing figures coming through. About 50% of people in business are still out of contract, which means that they're paying probably almost double what they need to be paying. So we can probably cut their energy bills in half for half the businesses that are out there. So if you're speaking to anyone and they mention it, grab a hold of a card, let me know, and I'd be happy to have a chat with them.
Nice one. Thank you, Lawrence. Anyone else? Anyone got any questions or anything they would like to say to Lawrence?
I think everybody knows my stuff by now.
Absolutely. Yeah. But I am looking forward to coming up and seeing you and meeting you in person, and getting the face-to-face meetings going up in the Highlands. That'll be pretty cool.
The Highlands, we're in what they call the Lowlands, actually, in Central.
Well, I'm in the Highland Kent, so. No, I get, Ben.
Lawrence, I think you should try and do a talk about what I heard you and John talking about before we came on about doing public speaking.
Yeah.
I think you've got quite a bit of expertise that even that couple of minutes that I heard you two talking, it sounds really quite useful. So I think you should maybe, I don't know if John plans on doing anything like it, but especially when you get your meet in person, try and do a talk where you can teach people how to talk in public and do public speaking. I think that'd be a benefit, one to me and to probably many others in the room.
I'd be happy to.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, totally agree with that, Ben. Thanks for that.
Listening to you talking yesterday, you need no education in public speaking.
Absolutely. Well said. Anyone else anything for Lawrence?
Is that James on a train?
I think it might be.
It is.
Yeah.
Dreadful. Disappeared, nothing personal.
No. Cool. Well, thank you very much, Lawrence. Great to hear from you. And as I say, looking forward to seeing you in just over a week's time. And so we need to arrange to meet up.
Yeah, thanks for your comments, Ben. Appreciate it.
Say again?
I'm just saying thanks, Ben, for your comments. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Nice one. Thanks, Lawrence. Right, next we're going to go to Michelle.
Normally, no, I feel like doing a speech, but I'm too tired. So you all know what I've been up to. Gallivanting with you lot yesterday. So to be fair, I kind of want to push my technician down the stairs most of the time, but to be fair to him, he held the fort. Wasn't really many inquiries, which isn't necessarily a good thing, but the couple that we did have, he took care of. And I could just go and enjoy the day, do what I needed to do, and not have to worry about the business. And he took care of the local stuff, so that was quite good. Even popped in on my dog, made sure he was all right. Isn't he a good boy? The dog, obviously. I don't know really. I've got to go and do a couple of appointments in a minute. I'm trying to put them off, but I just need to do them, get them out of the way. And a couple I've got meetings tomorrow morning with the BPCA, so hopefully I've recovered by then. Otherwise, it's not going to be a good look at all. And I was supposed to be representing the wider members.
What were you doing yesterday?
What was I doing yesterday?
Yeah.
I don't know. I was gallivanting at some place in Detlin. Good idea at the time. I had to talk to people, and now I'm kind of done. I'm exhausted.
Michelle's got a new friend, by the way. So for everyone to it was probably do you know what, it was my highlight of the day yesterday. We had someone come along to the stand, and she said she's really nervous about, and obviously, so I say that what I was saying, how I was saying it is like that we Simply Business Club is like the umbrella, and we had some of the members there with us on the stand, and I said, and she said, "Oh, well, I'm really nervous. I want to do some networking, but I'm really nervous. I don't know whether to come along. Can I come along and not talk?" And I said, "Well, you can. It's absolutely up to you. There's no pressure on you when you're in the meeting." I said, "However, if you speak to Michelle, she does pest control, but when she started, she was exactly the same. She was a bit nervous, and now we can't shut her up. So." Yeah, and so when she left, she left. She gave us her details and she picked up the magazine, which I'm really excited about. We've got the printed copy somewhere. I haven't got mine with me, but she took that and she said, "Oh, I've got a new friend. Michelle's my new friend." And I was like, "Love that." Yes.
All right, my invoice is on its way to you shortly.
Absolutely. No, but it was really good. It was great to see you in action, Michelle. You're talking to one person about what did she have, chickens? And there was, her husband had chickens or something, and there was rat issues.
My husband has been dealing with the rat issue, with humane traps and this, that, and the other. And I'm thinking a whole load of stuff in my head, and I actually had a filter. I know it's shocking.
What?
Yeah, exactly. For once, I actually had a filter. This lady was saying how her husband had been dealing with it, with shooting us and humane traps. I was like, yeah, I'm sure,
Didn't she also say that she had that he would sit outside for 4 hours with a pellet gun?
Well, that's all right, but you've got to have other
But it's
things.
not a bit of a waste of time.
Depends on the definite one. I was more concerned about the humane trap side of it, because what is their definition of humane? Because we're talking Animal Welfare Act here, and I said to them in the nicest possible way, just check the legislation and just, make sure that you're not doing anything where you could potentially get into a load of trouble, with all best intentions. I've got a customer who's an owner of a group of 3 care homes that I deal with. She had me at her house last year, I think it was. Her husband had been doing something similar. So they had a rat issue at home, and her husband's ex-military, more than capable of picking off a few rats. So he'd been doing that for X amount of time. But because they had chickens as well, it got to a point where shooting them, the odd one here and there, wasn't really that effective. I went in less than 3 visits. It was under control, and I haven't heard from them since, which is a bad thing, but also a good thing. So yeah, just humane traps. I get it. I understand why people want to do it, but it's not really humane. You imagine yourself in a humane trap. You're sitting in there for God knows how long, alive, waiting to die anyway. Or someone thinks they're doing the right thing by putting them somewhere. Well, they carry diseases. So you catch these things, you've got to dispatch them.
It is what it is.
I was there for quite a while talking to her. I don't know if she was being nice or just genuinely interested, but
No, I think she was taking it in, to be fair.
so if we just help one person yesterday, then avoid the wrong end of the law, then that's all worth it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's humane traps aren't the answer, especially for rats. I've got a feeling I know what they were talking about. I got a farm who tried to do something similar, and I reduced him to a small child because I said to him, "Well, why have you got me doing it, and you're breaking the law and doing stuff yourself? That's going to come back on me. You need to stop, or I'll walk away." Simple as that.
Totally fair.
You got to be careful. You may, under the Animal Welfare Act, although they're classed as a pest, you have to supply food and water. You're putting a humane trap out, you have to have food and water, and you have to check it regularly. And people don't. They think that they can just do whatever, leave a trap in the ground, and it's all good. Go back to it when they feel like it. No, you can't. I did that. I'd be done in the industry, that's for sure.
Nice one. Thanks, Michelle. Anyone got any questions or anything they would like to say to Michelle? Ben?
Just to say, I witnessed on Tuesday how good Michelle is. So I was worried about my stand in the event arena. There was pigeons flying around. One flew right over my stand. Michelle looked at it, gave it a mean look, and went, "Get out!" and boom, straight out the door. That is how good Michelle is.
Yeah.
I would love to say I'm joking here, but that's exactly what happened.
It didn't shit on your stuff though, did it?
No, it was spotless. It came in the next day, no bird mark anywhere.
Yeah, well, if Michelle spoke to it, it probably shit itself, so that's all right.
We were trying to coax it into shitting on the video team that were next to Ben and Rachel, but didn't do that either, sadly.
Obviously, your reputation precedes you, Michelle.
Yeah, it seems to, doesn't it? It's quite funny. It would have waited till it quieted down, and it would just sat in a quiet corner somewhere. It's unlikely to sit on a beam where you were. It's possible, but it's more likely to be at the edge or in a corner or trying to get out. I mean, they are pretty stupid feral pigeons, but they'll just, I imagine it probably did poop somewhere and they had to clean that up. But
nice one. Thanks, Ben. Anyone else? Anything for Rachel? For Michelle?
Oh, the bugs.
Oh yeah, we did it. We had people ate bugs. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't.
Rachel said they were quite nice. She's weird.
Nah.
Weirdo.
Nice one. Well, thank you very much, Michelle, and massive thanks for joining me on the stand yesterday. It was awesome. Right, next up we've got Ben.
Hello everyone, I'm Ben from your video team, and I'm absolutely shattered today, but it was because of a fantastic day yesterday. We got to exhibit at Business Vision Live. It's the first time I've actually named it correctly, because leading up to it I've been calling it Kent Business Vision.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got to meet tons and tons of people, actually genuine conversations about people using our services, people wanting to bring video content into their business, finding out how else other than marketing videos can be used for things like training content, case studies, business announcements, all things like that, which are what we call evergreen assets, things that stay with your business and help grow your business continuously. Tons of people who came up to us, and we got to meet loads of people that we see online and got to meet them face to face. So Tim, we met yesterday properly. He was on the stand next to us, and he looked pretty busy, to be fair. Obviously got to see Michelle. James was there as well. It was a great day overall, I feel, and it's good to see that Simply Business was getting a lot of interest too. So hopefully we'll get a fair few more members from it as well to share this little family that we have going a bit bigger and a bit wider.
Absolutely.
Yeah, share the love. So I'll just go with I'm Ben from your video team. If you want videos or know anyone who does, please send them my way, and I'd love to talk to them about it.
Nice one, thanks, Ben. Yeah, from the few times I came over to your stand, you had a really good group of people coming to see you. So it looked nice and busy. How did your talks go? So I didn't get over to see any of them. Did they go okay?
I was so busy talking to people, I didn't even have time to start them. I had literally from start to finish, I was non-stop.
Yeah.
I could just didn't have time to do it. So I might just have to film one separately and post it out into the real world.
Yeah, I was similar with the where I wanted to do the speed networking. They wouldn't let me do it on the tannoy, but I was too busy anyway. And it was like, it was because of the amount of people that were coming along. It was like, so we were meant to do that. And he was like, well, if they aren't going to let me put it on the tannoy, then we're not going to get the interest. But every time I looked at it, I was like, oh, damn, I've missed the time. It's like, we were 20 minutes past the time. And it's like, oh, yeah. But
yeah, a lot of people said that it was quieter than previous years, but I think the quality of conversations that were happening, you weren't rushing through everyone.
Yeah.
You're actually spending time with them, finding out about who they are, what they need, and figuring out how you can help them out. You're not just going, here's my card, here's my number, it was literally, you've got to start building a relationship. And a lot of people I felt were genuine people looking to grow and develop their businesses, and not just there to be out for a day, if that makes sense.
I think that was exactly that's exactly how I found it. I've exhibited there before, and I also went as just a visitor last year, and it was bouncing last year. There was a lot more people, but I think last year was because of it being the first one out after COVID. And so this year there was less people, but they were more people. The people who were there were genuinely looking for stuff, rather than it being, as you say, the pen and bag brigade, who were just going for as many freebies as possible. I think they were actually genuinely looking for stuff. And I remember previous years where it's been exactly what you just said. It's like you're in the middle of talking to someone, and it's like out of the corner of your eye, you've got another person waiting, and you're sort of like trying to rush them. You're like, I've spoken to you now, go away. I need to speak to them. And it's like, we didn't have any of that, but we didn't really have any sort of time in between. So yeah, I think you're exactly right. It was more successful, but there was less people.
I think doing it as a group as well, it helps, if like you say one was busy, another one of us could kind of talk to someone, and we talk about each other's things as well as the simply networking. It wasn't all about simply networking. It was, if that makes sense. Shut up.
Yeah, I think like the amount of people that came back repeatedly, like you were just too busy to talk to earlier, and they came back 3 or 4 times. They came back, and a lot of people came to your stand, saw our stuff there, and was like, "Oh, we saw you over there." And
so we've had loads of people come over to us and say, "Oh, we've seen they're over there," and then also we had a lot of people saying, "There's loads of orange bags going around with this name, with this logo on it." It's like, seriously? I was like, yeah, I know. Yeah,
Digital Kent, I don't think liked me very much because everyone had their Digital Kent bag. I was like, give that here. Let's put it in my bag. Carry that one here.
Yeah, the bright orange bag.
People were clearly hearing about us. So James, first thing he said to me is like, someone spoke to me about you the other day, and it's all good stuff. So I was quite glad that was my start of the day, that I bumped into James first, and he's giving compliments through other people back to me, which is quite nice. Definitely. So yeah, I think there's only one way for your video team, and that's successfully.
100%. Yeah, no, definitely, and I can vouch for how awesome you are as well, because obviously I've used your services and it went well. So yeah, anyone in the room, do it. Get yourself a LinkedIn profile video. They're a good thing to have. Nice one. Anyone else? Anything for Ben? Oh, cool. Thank you, Ben. Great to see you yesterday.
Thank you.
And yeah, all good. Okay, next we're going to go to Christopher.
Sorry about that. It's a lot of light and shadow around here, but yes, I'm Christopher Rooney, and I write people's life stories. They're commissioned as gifts and family heirlooms and so on. So they take about a year to write those. Sometimes it can be a bit more than a year. So the client gets the complimentary copy of the book, and they get the PDF file so that they can print out their own copies. Though they can't order them from the printer I work with. And there's all that comes with a dedication page and a comments chapter. So I also edit them as well. So maybe somebody's an aunt or an uncle has written some of their own story, but they don't know it needs editing and maybe some rewrites doing. I'm also looking to maybe write the same sort of thing for hotels, guest houses, who maybe they've got interest in history or a haunting or near a battle site, and they'd like a copy of a book there for the hospitality. It's part of the package to provide, or for people to sit around and read. So the life stories, if you think this is your life, so if anybody's got a really big birthday bash planned for next year or for Christmas next year, if they'd like to know more about the life stories, and just let me know and we'll arrange a one-to-one. Thank you.
Nice one. Thank you, Christopher. I think it's a really exciting thing what you do. And I think, yeah, we have had, I've said this a few times, we have had discussions and we're being a bit slow about it, but we are discussing about Claire's dad doing it. So hopefully that'll come off soon. Does anyone have any questions or anything they'd like to say to Christopher? No, cool. Well, thank you very much, Christopher. Great to, like I say, great to hear from you. Thanks very much for coming along. Next, we're going to go to you, Anita.
Hi, everybody. I'm so glad yesterday went well. I was thinking of you. I've stood there and talked to people, and yeah, it does get tiring, but it is quite buzzy. I thought today I would talk numbers to you. So just no, you're not everybody's fully awake, but I'll talk numbers. So a while ago, I took the basic chicken tikka masala. So you go into Sainsbury's, you buy a ready meal, and you pay. So I looked up all these prices on Sainsbury's, and including the electricity you use to warm it up, you pay about £3.82 for that meal. So that's your one portion of chicken tikka and your rice. If you were to make it in your Thermomix, you'd be making 6 portions. And I took the recipe as you have it on Cookie-Doo. So you follow the instructions, you're using fresh ingredients, you know there's no preservatives or anything going into it, and you make about 6 portions, and that will cost you for 6 portions, including the electricity, £5.35 to make. So that works out to 89p per person compared to buying the ready meal for £3.82. And Thermomix is more affordable than people think. There's monthly payments you can make. You can spread your payments over 12, 24, 36 or 48 months. So just to give you an idea, over 48 months, you pay £1 a day for your Thermomix. And you are making probably triple those savings by shopping smarter, reducing food waste, and cooking from scratch. Over 36 months, it's about £1.30 a day, and £24 isn't much different. It's about £1.83 a day. 12 months, it's £3.46, so less than £3.50 a day. That's less than your coffee you buy at Starbucks. So yeah, just some numbers to think about. That I know it sounds like, oh, I could never have that in my kitchen. It's actually more affordable than you think. And someone said to me recently, just by making your own bread, you're already making those savings, and you don't have any of the preservatives going into the bread or anything. You know exactly, it's just the 4 ingredients. Yeah, and one of my favorite lines is, and it washes itself. So just some things to think about.
Nice one. Nice one. Thank you, Anita. You're 100% right. And I think the other thing to take into account as well is the fact that obviously not only are the ingredients that much cheaper, but also the savings on the actual energy costs. You know, it's a lot cheaper to run that than it is to run an oven. So yeah, you do save considerably based on every time you use it. So I think it's a no-brainer for me. Does anyone have anything they would like to say to you, Anita? Tim.
Sorry, this is just going to be me showing off. That's a loaf of bread I made at the weekend.
Oh, well done.
I'm quite pleased with that.
It's awesome. Well done, Tim. Nice one. Anyone else anything for you, Anita? No, cool. Well, thank you very much, you, Anita. Great to hear from you. And yeah, just keep plugging away. It is a fantastic machine. So yeah, it's everyone needs to know about it. Cool. Okay, next up we're going to go to Tim.
Right. Well, apologies first of all to Anita, Lawrence, and Christopher, but I'm going to bang on about Business Vision Live as well. It was very successful. But one of the most telling moments, and I'll let the rest of you guess who this was. Somebody came up to me and said, "You know, Tim, you bang on every week about how your laptops are just like new," and they are. And then he said, well, I've got some real difficult technical issues because I do a lot of design work. So I brought in my technical director, and he said, well, no, because of course we can upgrade the RAM to that, and we could put something or other. He said 4-core, quad-core thing in, and the chap went, guys, well, just giving the game away. It was him. But you were quite impressed with the technical ability and the price, I think.
I was.
And as you said, they really do look like new, don't they?
Oh, it's ridiculous. I've got to be honest. That, you know, I don't know if everyone else is thinking the same thing. And this, I'm not trying to sort of downgrade what you do, Tim. But it's when you say they look as new, I'm thinking, all right, you know, you've got your recondition the machines. It's like, right, okay, they really do. It's like I was a little bit shocked by just how much I was expecting them to look a lot better than sort of used, obviously, but I wasn't expecting them to look that good. It was quite impressive. So it was like, right, okay, fair enough. And then obviously speaking with your colleague about my needs, it was like, well, yeah, I want to run Photoshop, InDesign, Illustrator, as well as all the other stuff. And my machine doesn't really. The machine I've got now is okay with it. Sometimes it sort of goes, oh, because I like to leave like loads of tabs open as well. So it's, you know, so I'm one of them people, and it sometimes gets a little bit slow because of that. But yeah, when we were talking about it and putting in a Quattro core and stuff, and yeah, it was just, there was a load of stuff that we talked about that were slightly starting to go over my head because it was a little bit more than my knowledge. And it was like, right, okay, but yeah, but the price was certainly well better than the price that I was looking at, because I was looking at machines when I got this one, the one that I've got now. I was looking at machines then, and you were looking at £2,000 to £3,000. And your colleague quoted sort of in the region of 1,500 quid, and it's like, well, okay, and that probably is loads better. That was that an i9 as well?
Oh, I must admit, some of what Lee says goes over my head. I think yes, it was. Well,
I'm pretty sure it's an i9 processor, which
yeah.
is like seriously good, and it's like, right, okay, so that's better. It's better than what I was looking at, and it's considerably cheaper. So it's like, right, okay, so yeah, when in the next 6 months when I get my new machine, we'll definitely be having a proper chat.
I love it when I get my 60 seconds taken over, but that was brilliant. Thank you, Sean. But you're quite right. And the number of times people come up to the stand, not really, because our name doesn't give away what we do. They're just looking blankly at it. And I said, what do you think of this laptop? I said, oh, it's very nice. And I said, it's 5 years old. And it's like, what? As they're looking at it. So, yes, it's fantastic. But that's the thing. Now, so you know what we do. That's what we do. But our success stories, my success story of late, is I had somebody goes a parent, teacher, governor, whatever they're called, for a primary school, and he came on and said, "Oh, Tim, I think we're being ripped off. I've got this quote here for 13 laptops," and my limited technical knowledge, even I looked at it and thought, nah, They're being quoted £710 per machine. And I thought to myself, that's an old machine. That's a good 6-7 years old. In fact, I was corrected. It's 8 to 9 years old. So we could have done the equivalent machine for about £150, not 710. But we're actually going to go back to them and say, what is it you really want? And that's something I mentioned to you before. What we'll say to people is, what do you want your machine to do? Which is probably what Lee was saying to you yesterday, John.
Yeah.
It was, what do you want it to do? What are the system requirements of the software you run? And we'll spec it accordingly and price it accordingly, not just for that, what we want to do, but we'll give it a buffer for growth. So if anyone knows anyone who wants to upgrade, don't come to me saying, I want an HP 840 G5, because you probably don't. Come to me and say what you want it to do, and we'll specify accordingly. And then you'll look at the price and you'll think, hey, that guy's good. Well, we are. Thank you.
Nice one. Thanks, Tim. Ben.
Like I said earlier, Tim was next to me yesterday, and he comes across on this call quite passionate, quite knowledgeable about the business and what they do and stuff. But he's not got a scratch on Gary and Lee. The amount of passion that they've got to do what they do. Tim's just an accountant. You want IT specialists and people who care about what they do and give you and actually care about the planet. Gary and is it Lee, the other gentleman? I don't think Lee did nothing but smile.
Oh, he's good like that.
He didn't do anything but smile because he was talking about what he loved, and you could see it in his face, his little bright purple face when he got excited talking to someone new about the machines that they've got there.
I think that was the drugs we put him on.
And I got a curly whirly as well, so that made me extra happy.
Oh, totally fair. Totally fair.
Rachel got buon veno, whatever they're called.
Rachel got a buono veno. I didn't know that.
I didn't know. I did not. Did you eat it before I got it?
I've got to be honest. I think I win. I got a mint arrow.
I didn't get it. Someone stole it.
Yeah, they had the best chocolates out there because they were full bars.
Yeah, proper bars of chocolate. I got a mint arrow. I was like, yeah, I'm all right with that. And then I tried to hide it, and then I think it was Lee said to me, "Oh, you haven't got a bar of chocolate." And I was like, "No, I don't." And I was like,
"Yeah, it's Gary that tumbled you."
Oh, Gary, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Gary was asking me about doing some video work with you, which I'm highly grateful for.
Oh,
but, so I'm going to be very excited when I come to visit you in the next coming weeks. We'll arrange a time. We'll be sending out an email today to get in touch. But yeah, it's definitely this company is such a good company. Like, if you share no one else, like share them, because they are doing good things, not just for businesses like yourselves where you could use the equipment, but for the planet also. This is one company that I would sing and rave and dance about as much as I do my own.
All right, the check's in the post.
But yeah, definitely start recommending them to anyone who wants a device. Just say it, tell them RDUK, just do it. You'd be madness not to.
Yeah.
Well, nice. I'd like to add to that a reverse thing. About 10 minutes before coming on this, I was shown the video that you put on LinkedIn, Ben. And I'd say to everyone else, you got to look at his work. It's only a tiny, tiny example of what he does. I think the best way to find it would be on LinkedIn, Google, or search Business Vision Live. And then for your video team, you'll see it.
Yeah.
What is it, 15 seconds, Ben?
No, it's 1 minute, 6 seconds long.
Oh, yeah, and it showed me the little bit with us in then.
But yeah, Rachel shared another one as well, which was about 15 seconds. You're in that as well. So,
hey!
But yeah.
Is that the one where I'm at the start?
Yeah.
Love that.
You're one as well.
Love that.
We'll make sure we've got the chocolates here for when you visit, Ben.
Oh, fantastic.
Absolutely.
I won't bring Rachel.
I'll come with you, Ben. I'll come. Nice.
Well, you did get a video of Rachel with those mealy bugs or whatever they were called. And a few people said to me, "What's she eating?" I said, "You don't want to know."
Yeah, there's mealworms.
It's in the name, isn't it? Mealworms.
Yeah. Anyway,
can you cook them in your Thermomix?
What do you reckon? Unita, do you reckon you can put mealworms into a Thermomix?
Oh, what? Sorry, I didn't quite hear that.
Mealworms.
Probably. You can make dog biscuits in your Thermomix. I've heard people make their own face cream and
Oh wow.
made bath bombs. I don't see why not.
Yeah. Face cream like
I was going
like
to-
Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah, I was going to add a comment yesterday. If you look up Mupani worms, they grow, the Mupani tree grows in Africa, especially the central part. And the Mupani worm is it's the worm that turns into the big, is it the emperor moth? I can't remember now. But its moths are similar to bees. They pollinate plants and all of that. And I remember we had the conversation about the little spider and the big spider. And it's like, yeah, these little mealworms and Mopani worms are these big things. And they cook them and fry them and eat them. So my parents grew up as like seeing the people eat Mopani worms.
Nice. Well, thank you very much. Thank you, Tim. Great to hear from you. And yeah, fantastic to meet you properly yesterday and yeah, see what you guys do properly.
That was Ben's bit anyway, so thank him.
No, we went to Ben because it was you.
Ah, God, I love you guys. You're brilliant. For those of you who haven't seen our stuff in the flesh, I know, Lawrence, it's a long way for you to travel, and Christopher, I think you're a bit far away. But Juanita, you can manage the trip. Come and see our stuff. You'll be amazed, as evidenced by what these guys have said.
Nice one. Thanks, Tim. Well, I was going to go to James next, but he's out of signal, it would seem. So it's myself to go next. I was going to show you a magazine, but I don't have one here. And if you bear with me 1 second, I'm just going to go get one because they are that good. I need to show you. So bear with me 1 second.
There's a man who's planned. It was kind of quiet without him talking now, isn't it?
All I can think of to talk about is what you're making for dinner tonight.
Oh, I don't know. What are we having for dinner tonight?
Oh, the plan, isn't it?
I'm having sweet and sour chicken.
Burgers. I'm having burgers with mealworms.
Mealworms. No, sorry about that. So yeah, because I wasn't meant to be going next. James was, and he's not there. Right, so take a moment, breathe, up and down the stairs. So yeah, normally this is digital, but as you can see, and those that were there yesterday, this edition is printed and it's very nice. I'm very, very pleased with it. All of your details are in there. Very nice. Oh, there, sort of. Yeah, some of you there. And then we go over, so there's 3 or 4 pages of member details and stuff. And so really, really excited that this is the first one that's been printed. The reaction we got yesterday to it is fantastic. And also the printer that did it for us, massive shout out to them as well, because they were really, really good, and they helped me through the process of obviously getting them printed. And yeah, I can't really argue that point as well. But bringing the whole process thing together, that this magazine has helped us get the gig with the business show. So as I've talked about a few times, a couple of weeks ago, I got a phone call from the business show. Now, the other day, I started to think, was that a fake? Was it, am I being scammed? Because that's massive. That is as good as yesterday was. This is going to be 10, 20 times bigger, and it's the opportunity to go to the XL and have a stand on at the business show for Simply Business Club is going to be huge. And the reason that we were able to get that opportunity is because of the networking with the magazine and the two that have come together. And so yeah, I'm just really, really excited. We had obviously I've showed pictures in the group, and it was of yesterday, and it was really, really exciting. Having a big stand like that is a far better way of doing it. You know, because we were able to talk about each other, we were able to promote what each of us do. As Michelle said before she left, we were able to talk about each other's businesses. So if I was talking to someone, then obviously Michelle could talk to somebody else, and we were able to do that for the whole day. And it was, but also we could go wandering if we wanted to. One or two of us at a time could go off and have a sort of a wander, see what else is going on. And you weren't sort of restricted on the stand, and you didn't have to. I was there on my own officially. I was the only one there from Simply Business Club, but because we were there collectively, I didn't need to stay with the stand like the whole day. So it was a really, really great thing, and the, like I say, the size of it, people were being drawn in just because of that as well. So it was very, yeah, it was really good. I'm really, really happy with how yesterday went, and seeing so many of our members as well. I think, you know, Ben and Rachel, Tim, you guys having your stands there, and a few other members having stands and stuff, and it was, yeah, the whole thing was really great, and I want to do a lot more of it, because I think that is the next level for me, for the club, to grow the club in the way that I want to. I want to grow it in lots of different areas. So as I said earlier, if this is more for you, Anita, Christopher and Lawrence, anything in your area, anything that is not the tiny little things, because at the end of the day, it's got to be worth coming. But I want to do things in your area. So anything that's going to be where there's going to be 1,000+ people attending, then let me know, because I want to do stuff like that, expos and trade shows and that sort of thing. So the more we can do, the more people I can get in your area, and we can start to grow in your area and build lots of little communities like we've got down in Kent. I don't want it to just be Kent centric. That's not what SBC is about. I'm very aware that at the moment it looks a little bit like that, and I'm doing everything I can to sort of start to create UK-wide opportunities. So yeah, the more opportunities we can get outside of Kent as well as Kent, then the better it is going to be for everyone. And yeah, so that's me, John from Simply Business Club.
John, I was at an event yesterday for Newcastle,
okay.
And it was massive. I'll rustle up their details and email them over. They were called Northeast Venture or something.
Okay,
but
yeah.
I had another one is the Northeast Chamber of Commerce organised a lot of expos. They had one at Newcastle Racecourse about 3 weeks ago, and it was over 3 or 4 floors, and it was packed.
Yeah.
So it might be worth
yeah, stuff like that. I would love to get involved. I was having a chat with someone from the chamber yesterday about the possibility of teaming up with them and offering, sort of teaming up from a networking point of view and offering it at their events. So obviously that's the local rep down in Kent, but we can replicate that. So if we can sort of have chats with the chamber or other event organisers, yeah, if there's going to be sort of 1,000 people or more there, then it's worth me coming up and potentially having a stand, potentially doing networking if they want that. But just having a presence there, it's really, really important.
I'll rustle up those contacts for you.
Nice one, thank you, Christopher. Lawrence.
Unmute before I get a fine. Yeah, I was at the Edinburgh Business Networking or Edinburgh Business Show last month. I was due to go to the Glasgow one today, but I've not been on here for a couple of weeks, so I came here. But I know there's one in Edinburgh coming up in September, I think, which is, I'm not sure if it's at Edinburgh one or the Scottish one that's in Edinburgh, but a couple of networking organisations had stands there. One was a company called Coffee Connections, and another one was Curry Connections, and I think they're sort of linked in some way. They meet once a month. I've gone along to both of them, but there's a few people I know there already, so it wouldn't really be much for me. But certainly, if you're looking for a stand, I could certainly find out information there if you were looking to build something up this way.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, please do. If you know of contacts and that sort of thing, then I would love to have a chat with them. And
But even if I don't know them, I can make inquiries and find out for you.
yeah, brilliant, nice one. Thank you very much, Lawrence. Yeah, especially as the fact that I'm coming up there to start the Scottish sort of meetings and start that, because I think it would be really good to have that contingent up there, and then what we're going to do is we've got you guys up there, we've got us down here, and then we're just going to keep going to the middle. Probably end up in Liverpool and Manchester, and it'd be, you know, we cover the whole of the UK, and we offer meetings all over the place. That's fantastic. You know, it doesn't matter where we are. Then if one of us goes on a business trip and we end up in, I don't know, Norwich or somewhere a little bit different, or Wales, or I don't know, anywhere, but we haven't got any members in either. Well, I suppose Fran is a little bit close to Norwich, isn't she? But we haven't got any members directly there at the moment. But if we were to sort of grow all over the place, then that would happen. So yeah, that's exactly what I'm looking for. So yeah, please do share that, Lawrence. That would be great. Anyone else? Anything for myself? Ben.
Just to thank you again for your help with making our stand a possibility, giving us some tips and advice on how to actually do an event like it. I think it was very much needed, and it definitely helped us stand out. I think I was a bit annoyed that we didn't win best stand there, but I think we came a close second. How
did you not win?
Well, the stand that did win was pretty awesome, to be fair.
Who won?
Who won the best stand? What was the name?
Best large stand.
Oh, best large. Starbutts. Starbutts.
The printers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we know Oliver from there, so he's a nice enough guy.
Yeah, I got one of their chocolate bars, to be fair. Yeah,
Tim.
Tim, next time you do your chocolate bars, you're gonna have to improve, because they had plastic cardboard sleeves over it, and they had caricatures on their sleeve, on their cardboard sleeve over the chocolate bars.
Yeah, big printers they would, wouldn't they?
I said to them, I asked them how much they charged for that, but they said we'd never actually offered it out. I was like, we're going to do that now. I think Rachel's going to try and find some. But it really did help us out. And like since yesterday, our brains have been buzzing about what we're going to do next time around. And obviously, if it's up and down the country, we're a company that goes up and down the country, so we're happy to follow you around. Be your little cheerleaders if you need it.
Absolutely, yeah. I think we do that, and you've already signed up to the coming with me to the Excel. So yeah, absolutely. We
hello, lovely.
Promote each other along the way. That's the whole point, you know, as it says behind it. But no, awesome, nice one. Thanks, Ben. Anyone else? Anything for myself? No, cool. Well, thank you very much. Well, we've got Ian with us. Ian, over to you, my man.
Aloha.
Copy print scan, the man's back.
Yeah, I had to switch. For some reason, the video still didn't want to play. So I'm back in the unit. Sorry I was late, running around like a headless chicken. So Susan, you all know me in the room anyway. So what's been going on? Yeah, lots of changing in here. We've had a good sort out. As I said, we had a lot of stock come in, which was really, really handy to be able to get it. A was a good price, and B to be able to have them in stock, prepped and ready to go. And that actually really did make a difference the other day, because we needed a machine fairly quickly. And that's the idea now, with having the stock, being able to have it and have it ready. Now having the room as well really does make a difference. So I don't know why I've still got a stupid background, haven't I, for some reason?
No.
Have I not? Oh, okay, brilliant. Okay,
that's a window.
Yeah. So if you call your window stupid, then
Oh right, no, I thought let me just clean the old lens a bit. It looks a bit misty. So what we have now in the office, which I wanted to keep clear, as you can see, we've now got machines that are sitting there, so we can have stock, which makes a big difference. And then all the old ones that are ready to go back are all labelled up, and these are going back to export. So all the old ones. So that's what's quite nice now, being able to be a bit more organised within the unit. So that's what every sort of spare hour we're getting, we're just trying to get ourselves more organised in here, which is obviously going to make things a lot better. So great day yesterday. I've been running around with this bag all day yesterday, so making sure. Yeah, I know, look at that cool bag.
Best bag at the venue.
Yeah, I know, exactly. So yeah, great day yesterday. I didn't feel very well when I first left, but I made it. I'll spare you all the details. What we're looking for, still looking for people really that have got bad contracts, unethical contracts, people not getting the service they deserve. Schools, we're saving them a lot of money. So yeah, that's the sort of things we're after really. Touching on yesterday, good. It was a good event. I found a guy that will collect all old machines, working or not. He'll give me a scrap certificate, and he'll wipe the hard drives. So that was a big one for us yesterday, because we do struggle to get rid of some of the crap. Because my initial supplier obviously normally needs them working as such. So yeah, it was a good event yesterday. And that's me really.
Nice one. Thanks, Ian. It was great to see you and your mum.
Yeah, mum come along, didn't she? Bless her.
Yeah. So that was great. And yeah, it was just a fantastic event. So yeah, nice one for coming along. And yeah,
how did it pan out for you, for the guys that had the stands, Ben and John, and how did it go? I mean, was a lot of interaction?
It wasn't as busy as normal, but we were just talking about that earlier. It wasn't as busy as normal, but they were proper conversations rather than it just being have a business card, have a business card, have a business card. They were decent conversations. And so it seemed like there were people who were actually looking to do stuff rather than tire kickers.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
obviously
Ben,
previous years that's been the case.
Every time I went past your stand, Ben, you and Rachel had someone in deep conversation. So it looked like yours went well.
Yeah, it was non-stop, and I think that's partly down to you, where you were lifting it all right up like this, my bag.
What, as high as that? You sure?
Everyone could see it at eye level, which was
I was going to say, yeah, that ain't very high, even if I lift it. Awesome. No, it looked good. I think for anyone. How did you get on, Tim? Because you had a stand there, didn't you?
Yeah, we rather not answer that until we've done all the follow up on all the cards and everything received. But yeah, some really good feedback from people who are saying that can't be 5 years old. It looks like it's new. And as I said, yeah, John said, about how I bang on every week about it, but it really does look like new. And Ben has kindly said the same thing. So that's from these guys, but for us, to other people, yeah, I think we got some really good feedback. We managed to speak to somebody from North Kent College, which we've been trying to get into for some time. So hopefully that'll lead somewhere.
Yeah, good.
But all generally good. Thank you very much for asking, Ian.
Nice one.
I think what the benefit is to having a stand is that people see you as committed to what you're doing.
Okay.
People who had stands there, they were, I say, genuine businesses, if that makes sense. We're not trying to con people out of money, because the amount of money we spend just to be there is crazy amount. So I think people took us, and just all our branding and stuff looked fantastic and cool, but people knew to take us seriously, and we knew what we were talking about.
I think I was asked the question this morning, or it came out in conversation. Sometimes previously, people have said in this Zoom networking, it's concept-based businesses that do better than product-based businesses. But I think yesterday it was definitely product-based businesses that were getting much more attention than conceptualists. Is that a word?
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. No, look good. Look good.
Yeah, nice one. Does anyone? Oh, excuse me. Sorry. Does anyone have anything they would like to say to Ian? Ben.
Grow up.
Ben.
Ian, if I was going to a school and recommend you, what's the best way for me to lead that conversation? Because like they're not really my kids' school aren't necessarily going to tell me about the details of their printing company who supplies their printers and stuff like that. So what's the best way for me to lead the conversation? Because I want to do the same with Tim, to be honest.
Well, with the schools, what I would say is when the schools are with the big corporate companies, they don't get the service. So they could be waiting 2 or 3 days for an engineer. They could be waiting for parts. I mean, I'll give you one example of a school that we now look after. Before us, my mate was the IT manager there, and he would phone them up and say for instance, the glass. He would phone up and say, the glass is broken on this printer. Can you send an engineer with the glass? They would send an engineer down without the glass. He said, why have you done that? Well, we have to do that because of SLA, service level agreements. We have to be there within a certain amount of, within 12 hours. And then we've got to order the glass. Well, how long will that be? 2 to 3 working days. So that's the sort of stupid things that goes on with schools. The other thing with the schools are they don't get a choice in the cost. It's normally a trust or someone else, and they don't get involved. So I'd say price, service levels are the 2 really big ones. Because let's face it, they want the damn thing fixed. So yeah, so that's what I would lead with, Ben. Service and price.
I think to add to that, Ian, I think I remember you saying sort of along them lines, but I remember you saying there was one where they turned up. I can't remember what the parts were, but they turned up without the glass, and that took another few days. And then they turned up with the glass, but there was another thing wrong with it, and it was like, oh, so we can't fit the glass because of something else. And it was like, right, okay, we're gonna go. And it was like, there was 4 or 5 steps, and each one was like another week and another week.
That was the install. That was the installs. So what would happen on an install? You get a van crew, deliver it and wheel it in. And they say, oh, does it work? Well, no, you got an engineer to come and do that bit. So then an engineer would come along and then cut the wrapper off, plug it in, and then calibrate it. And they went, can we print? No, you got another engineer that's going to come along and network it. We don't know how to do that. So they come along and network it. And then after that, they say, oh, can you show us how to use it? No, we don't do that. That's another separate team that does the demonstration. So over all them steps, so when we go in, we install it, we deliver it, we install it, we set it up, we put it on the network, we set the scanning up, and then we do the dem before we leave. So the sort of steps that is just crazy. Yeah.
I remember you saying about that one, and each one sort of had 5 to 7 days between each one, and it was like a week between each step. 6, 7 weeks later, they still haven't been able to use the machine.
Exactly.
That's ridiculous.
Crazy time. Yeah.
So yeah.
I have a question for everybody in the room.
Go on.
I was selling something on Facebook, and a bloke got annoyed, and he called me an IDC. Got any clues?
I don't care.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, I don't care. IDK is I don't know.
I put sorry now sold. He put you ignored me anyway, mate. IDC. Stick your Nintendo, mate.
Yeah.
But I don't know what an IDC is.
I don't care.
I think that's
is
probably
that what it is?
Yeah.
Could be. I just thought I'd ask because I thought I might be in blonde here. Thank you, guys.
Nice one.
Might be one of the strangest questions you've ever been asked in Simply now.
Anyone else anything for Ian? Nah, all good. Thank you, Ian. Stephen did join us for a second there, and he was going to sort of introduce himself and say hello, but according to the group, his Southern Fried Chicken is ready. So, okay. Does anyone have anything else they would like to discuss? Ben?
So during this call, we've just had our first confirmed job from yesterday's.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
That's fantastic. Well done, Ben.
So
Jeez, that's good. Blimey.
yeah.
We are
Excellent.
filming the Women in Business exhibition, and I'm appearing on the radio show.
Did you hear that?
No, only part of it.
Not really.
We're filming the Kent Women in Business exhibition.
Exhibition.
It's easy for you to say.
Show. And Rachel's going to be on the Kent Women in Business radio show.
Nice.
Result. Well done.
That's awesome.
Result.
Well done, guys. That's amazing.
So
Lauren?
that one job just from yesterday that's confirmed today, could that almost pay for yesterday's?
Not the price that we paid.
Definitely goes some towards it then.
Yeah, definitely. That starts to help. Builds our brand as well. Get that. I mean, again, it's another organisation that we've kind of wanted to be involved with for a fair while. So, yeah, a couple of businesses that we spoke to beforehand, or I've been trying to get in with, are coming to us now from yesterday. So, which is pretty good, pretty cool.
Excellent.
I like the Lego on the stand because it's, and I want to do this in the office because it's another talking point. And did you get a lot of comments about the Lego yesterday?
Yeah, it draw people in, and it's nice to you see everyone's excited about it as well.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's good.
I'm trying to find out how to get our logo in Lego, so it's a 3D Lego.
That would be pretty cool. If you did it quite big, you could do it yourself.
Yeah,
Obviously,
I started it, but then Logan got involved and I lost the project.
I've got to go, guys.
nice. Yeah. Okay.
See you later, guys.
Lawrence.
Yeah, John, just to say, I've sent you a couple of links
Yes.
in the chat
Yeah.
on business events in Scotland.
Excellent. Thank you very much. I'll jump on them. Thank you very much for that. Nice. Does anyone have anything else they would like to discuss before we finish?
No.
No,
I've got to go because I've got an electrician fitting a could at the moment.
Nice one. Thanks, Lawrence.
no.
So,
Other than to repeat my thanks to Ben and John yourselves for the high praise you gave us, and particularly Lee, it should be passed on. And look forward to being alongside you guys at another exposition.
Excellent. Cool
can I
beans.
just ask, is it back to normal on Monday?
Yes. Monday's not a bank holiday, is it?
No.
Damn May. No, I think we're back to normal this Monday, and then next Monday. Is it next month? Hold on, where are we? It's the 11th.
Yeah.
No, we've got two that are not bank holidays,